Library of Heaven's Path. Chapter 79, Teacher Acknowledgement Fever. Just as what Zhang Xuan said, the moment he passed by the opportunity, he would need to take a significantly longer period of time to break through. Once he was a single step behind of others, he would always be a step behind of others. He didn't want to be chasing after the footsteps of others all the time. He didn't really trust the words of the other party, but with so many teachers here, he doubted that this Zhang Xuan would cause his cultivation to go berserk once more. Good. I will rejoice over the decision you made. Nodding his head, Zhang Xuan's gaze swept around the surroundings before retrieving a box of silver needles. Then, he instructed, sit down with crossed legs. Don't allow your thoughts to wander. I will use the silver needles to help you open up your acupoints so as to increase the speed of your accumulation of spiritual energy. You just have to try to break into the Danshan realm. All right? With his determination resolute, Zhao Yanfen didn't hesitate for long before he sat down with crossed legs. Zhang Xuan walked forward and retrieving a single needle, he placed it into one of the acupoints of the other party. At the same time, a surge of Genkai gushed in. As he cultivated the Heaven's Path divine art, his Genkai was as clear as mineral water. The moment it entered the other party's body, the shackles in his acupoints were immediately broken through. The acupoints of an average cultivator were similar to small holes filled with silt, and the murky Genkai was similar to muddy water. It was impossible to wash their acupoints clean with Genkai filled with so much impurities. On the other hand, superior Genkai was equivalent to clear water. While others might not be able to wash their acupoints cleanly even with 2 years of effort, he was able to do it easily. The moment the acupoints were opened, the surrounding spiritual energy immediately gushed in frenziedly. Hoo. With hands as swift as the wind, he consecutively jabbed another 8 silver needles onto the body of the other party. The 9 silver needles opened 9 acupoints on Zhao Yanfen's body. The spiritual energy that had been flowing like a small stream in his body instantaneously turned into a torrential river and gushed through his body before gathering at his spiritual sea. Boom! Zhao Yanfen felt as though an explosion had happened in his brain. The withdrawn Danshan in his abdomen was broken through in an instant. As though a massive basin, it accommodated all spiritual energy that came flowing in. This. Standing up abruptly, Zhao Yanfen pressed his palm against the strength measuring rock pillar not too far away. Boom. 150 kilograms. Fighter 2 Danshan Realm Primary Stage. I. Upon seeing the numbers float into appearance, Zhao Yanfen was stunned. Initially, he thought that it would take at least half a year for him to successfully advance into the next realm. Yet, with Zhang Xuan's assistance, he managed to succeed within a few moments. It seemed that it didn't even take an hour. Thank you, Zhang Xuan. Buddha. All of the doubts Zhao Yanfen had of Zhang Xuan cleared from his mind and he immediately knelt before Zhang Xuan and kowtowed continuously. In this instant, from the depths of his heart, he was convinced that all the other party did was for his welfare. How could a teacher, who was able to help others break through so easily, teach erroneous theories and cause a student's cultivation to go berserk? To think that he doubted such a noble teacher, even insulting him. He was worse than a beast. He must have been blind then to leave this teacher before to acknowledge Lu Sunlishi. If a chance presented itself, he would withdraw from his lessons and return back to him. He really broke through? To help a fighter 1 Dan successfully break through in slightly more than 10 minutes. Surely there's something wrong with my vision? How did he do it just by jabbing a few needles? While Zhao Yanfen was feeling conflicted and remorseful, clan head Wang Hong, elder Mo, and the others who had taken that scene have their eyes widened and mouth agape as they felt the world around them crumbling. They thought that Zhang Xuan was just bragging and assumed that it was impossible for him to succeed. Yet, viewing personally what they deemed impossible occurring, the striking visuals left them on the verge of tears. Looking at the other party once again, this time, their eyes were burning passionately. Back then, when they broke through one dan, they had to go through numerous troubles and struggles. Yet, looking at Zhao Yanfen, he seemed to have taken as much effort as it took to eat or drink. Why didn't they meet with Zhang Lishi back then? Zhang Lishi, please accept me as your student. Wang Yan, who came with Wang Tao and the others, walked forward and knelt before him. Back then, he thought that Lu Xunlishi was the superior one, and thus, he didn't agree with the decision of the clan head and his grandfather. Yet, upon seeing Zhang Lishi helping Zhao Yanfen break through within 10 minutes or so, he was unable to suppress the temptation any longer. Zhang Xian blinked his eyes. I know that Yan Er's talents are average, but I beseech Zhang Lishi not to reject him. The second elder from Wang clan walked out. With a face full of smiles, he continued, as long as Zhang Lishi accepts him, I am willing to be your disciple as well. I'm sure that Zhang Lishi's name will spread far and wide upon accepting a Pixie Realm student, no one will dare to doubt you. Second elder, can you have some decency? To think that you would try to bargain and do a buy one get one free, how shameless. The grand elder flung his sleeves and looked over respectfully. Zhang Lishi, ignore them. The second elder is lacking in decorum. Cough cough, how about me? I am a Pixie Realm pinnacle expert and I would like to acknowledge you as my teacher as well. If you find it inconvenient due to my identity as an elder of the Wang clan, I can always retire. What is there to compete about? Each of you are already old enough to be his grandfather, and yet you still want to acknowledge him as your teacher. Don't you all feel embarrassed? Not expecting the grand elder and second elder to act so shamefully, clan head Wang Hong reprimanded them. Upon being reprimanded of the clan head, the faces of the two flushed in embarrassment. Indeed, they were no longer young and their bone structure have already solidified. It wouldn't be an easy task for them to break through. Wang Tao and Wang Yan turned to look at the clan head in reverence. Do you see that? Our clan head has self-restraint and wits, being able to see through the crux of the problem with a glance. However, before they were done revering him, they saw clan head Wang Hong turning around to look at Zhang Xian with a bundles of smile. Zhang Lishi, I am still young, just 42 this year. Can I acknowledge you as my master? Zhang Xian. Everyone else. Cough cough, let's talk about the matter of acknowledging masters in the future. In the end, Zhang Xian had to speak up to stabilize the chaotic situation. Turning towards Zhao Yanfen once more, he asked, do you still think that I caused your cultivation to go berserk because I am incapable of teaching? I beg of Zhang Lishi to forgive me for repaying your grooming with ingratitude. Zhao Yanfen hurriedly kowtowed to Zhang Xian. Zhang Xian nodded his head in satisfaction. Then, turning around to look at Elder Shang Chen, he asked, Elder Shang Chen, do you still have anything else that you would like to say? Elder Shang Chen's face stiffened. He was unable to explain the issue with the teacher qualification examination, and now that everyone believed that Zhang Lishi sending Zhao Yanfen's cultivation berserk was to help him, what else could he say? His face was slapped on once more. Furthermore, it was the type that causes a swelling instantly. Impossible, impossible. How can he help others to break through so easily? By the side, Cao Xiang seemed to have gone dim-witted. His eyes were filled with confusion. This Zhang Xian Lishi had entered the academy at the same time as him, and all along, his results were superior to his. When did he become so incredible? Furthermore, to be able to help others break through so casually, even the elders and principal of the academy weren't capable of such a feat. How did he accomplish it? Cao Xiang Lishi intentionally slandered his colleagues, proving that he is lacking in ethics as a teacher. I will report this up to the teacher guild for them to revoke your teaching license. At the same time, the 100 god-slaying flogs will be carried out now. With the issue settled, Elder Mo waved his hands. Yes. Cao Xiang gritted his teeth. Even though he was unwilling to accept it, he knew that his fate was already sealed. Shang Bin, as a teacher, for your own benefits, you intentionally framed another teacher. Your teaching license will be suspended until further notice. After dealing with Cao Xiang, Elder Mo looked over at Shang Bin and Shang Chen. As for Shang Chen, as an elder, the head of the Education Bureau, not only did you not spare a consideration for other teachers, you intentionally made things difficult for them, even altering the results of the teacher qualification examination at your whim. You will be stripped of your position as an elder and the head of the Education Bureau. The issue will be reported to the Teacher Guild and a verdict will be passed down on your conduct.